Welcome back, sports fans. Here we are, another video. This time we are going to do some minor tips and tricks as we go through, and we're just going to naturally just float over the game and we'll start picking a few things out. Now, the first thing I want to go through with people is the daily store. Now, I fully appreciate there are lots of people who don't have coins to be able to spend in this daily store. So first off, do the ad reward. Doesn't get you lots of cards, but it gets you some extra coins, and it gets you some gems. Now, the big thing I wanted to highlight though is when you get to, and it's normally in slots, one of slot 7, 8, 9. You can get it in some of the earlier ones, but the ones where it costs you gems to buy the crates, the chests, now they'll be on there and you'll think, okay, yeah, I can buy another chest. Why don't I buy it? Now, the only chests to buy are the green and the blue. Why? Because if we go into our training center, the cost is often cheaper here. So this might be 2,000 gems or 1,800 or 1,500. Well, I can just go into the training center and buy the same chest. So if I want to go and buy the chest in the daily deals, I don't. I actually come into the training center and buy it, because 9 times out of 10, maybe even 99 times out of 100, it is cheaper in the training center than it is anywhere else. That also goes for chests, or boxes as they're called, on here. So a very good example. Silver 750, legendary 2500. Okay. Well, let's go to the training center. Oh, wrong bit. Silver was 750. Well, if that was on offer in the daily deals, or if I was tempted to buy it from the boxes from the shop, why would I spend 750 when I can spend 327? And I'm going to buy this just to demonstrate something. So we'll buy that for 327. We'll take the cards. I'm never going to say no to some cards. That's good. 2 that we need. 3 that we need. Oh, and there you go. There's always 1 that you've got. And we've obviously got all the purples. Now, I'm going to click on it again. Remember, it was 750. 749. So 750 is actually the max price. It's the same on here. 2,500 and it's 1519. If I buy that, I'm not going to buy 1519, but if I bought 1519, it would immediately go back to the list price that we saw, which was the 2,500. Okay? So never buy chests from the daily deal store. Never buy chests from the shop. It's never worth it. Yeah? Okay, what else? CC offers. I want to go through these. Now, the only reason I'm going through these, I don't necessarily encourage you to buy these. You go up to the enormous, you do get lots of tries. You know, if it's quite tight, or you want to make sure that you're doing the absolute best you can do, then it's not the worst. You get 5,000 gems, you get 200,000 coins. The 200,000 coins really doesn't make much difference, and they're massively overpriced in the value that they give you. Where this does give you, though, is it gives you benefits on here for the different cards. And that is why I always say, do athlete first for all your cards. Why? Because if you do want to buy this and you max out the athlete, you can go down to the next level and get coach. Because if you've maxed out coach, and by the time you've done that, you've probably maxed out legendary, then the only way for you to get athlete is to buy this one, but you've already got 2 of the cards maxed. The reason why we like this deal, though, is it gives you the option to choose. So we could go through this and go, right, based on everything there, I might start at the bottom, put my sprint runner, or I might say, well, actually, I want to get another one maxed, which I actually do, because when you're trading, you've then got 3 max that you can offer out. So you'd select that. You'd go into coach and you'd go, right, actually, I want to do the same in coach, 23. But then I get to legendary and I can't buy anything because they're maxed. Yeah? It just makes it not worth it. So if you are going to go into this, as I said, it's great because it gives you the choice. But be careful, because if you've maxed out your coaches, you are not going to therefore go and purchase on one of these. I also don't think it's the best value for money. I like the fact you get 5,000 gems. The 15 starts for CC is pretty good, but the 200,000 coins is massively overpriced. Yeah, I know people need coins, but be clever about where you buy coins. The other thing I want to highlight on here is the calendar, just right there at the top. And it's often missed. And this gives you the schedule of everything that we're going to be doing. So we can see here that we are going to have Nations Cup. Fine. I actually I'm not the biggest fan of the Nations Cup. I mean, it's okay. It tries to make you spend to do more tries, but why would you? I just don't think there's that. I know some country areas where there's very big communities, so I don't know, Poland or Brazil or India, where a lot of people are in specific clubs to those nations. They might try a bit more. But when you're in anything which is sort of like US, UK, there's quite a few French tribes, clubs. They probably don't try to the same level as others. It's great to say you've won it. I don't care if I win or lose the Nations Cup. I just want the rewards, and the rewards aren't very good. Tribe Challenge, though, different kettle of fish. Now, I want to see if it shows me anything on here. It doesn't show me what I wanted. Tribe Challenge, it's in Tbilisi. So Tribe Challenge is probably the best event for buying packages. They're normally, maybe not the rookie level, but once you start getting up to probably the 3rd or 4th level, they actually become quite good. They're all like times 4, 5, and even 6. I think on Grandmaster. Now, if you're not going to get to Grandmaster, what I've just said is completely irrelevant. But Tribe Challenge, if you're going to buy something, wait for Tribe Challenge. It's normally the best one to be able to do. When we look into December, what have we got? We've got World Tour. Okay, yeah, it is what it is. Another Nations Cup, which is unfortunate. Then we've got Tribe Challenge again, which is good. And then we've got Winter Challenge. And Winter Challenge, those ones are always good. We've just had the Hello Battle. It will follow a very similar thing. It will be Christmas themed. There will be probably snowmen versus pumpkins that we had for the Hello Battle. And normally quite a good event to be able to go through. It should be a team one, but you never know. They might make it individual. So that's events. So I always think that that's good. The other thing, just putting on here, I just wanted to go into highest actual trophies, highest trophies. They're the same. I've never really understood that in the achievements, but it is what it is. We could change our name. I want to be able to change country, but it won't let you change your country. And then here you can see all of your personal bests for a quick view. Now you can also see your personal bests if you go onto the rankings piece, and then what you're able to do there, you look at it event by event to be able to see where you are. Now, interestingly enough, if I go to all time, there we go. So there's some very, very quick people that have been quick for a long period of time. Now, here it looks like Lucas has left the game. They might have done. Not entirely sure. Then you get into tournaments, and then you can look at... So it's taken an aggregated view over a period of time. I don't even know really where I am on this. I can honestly say I have never looked. And this has got... Oh, okay, yes. So this has got people from the tribe event. Now, if you play the tribe event as I do, you will be saving your spins to the end. So your scores are always going to be slightly low. Because your tribe challenge score isn't going to be great. Okay, that makes sense. And then we've got some people scoring from the Nations Cup on here. Not many. Then you can have a look at your, where your club is. So we can see very tight at the top, United Legends and Athletics Cheetahs. Now I think United Legends lost a player recently. If we switch to the US, you will notice that Global Athletics Society is top. Never used to be. Always used to be USATF. Well, we've overtaken them. So that's good. But it allows you to see all cups. That's looking at trophies. If you want to look at it, a championship, it's the most pointless view ever. I've never really understood why they do that. It really means nothing. Now, the next thing I wanted to just quickly go through is just around cards and how to do, what to do. So you can look at it from a discipline perspective, and you can see you might want to focus on 1, 2, or 3 different events to get you up there. So I might look at this and go, well, actually, if I focus on middle distance running, get the coach up, finish off the last couple of cards, then I'll be up, world record ability to be able to do that. The one thing I like doing, though, is just going on here. You'll know that you can look at your equipment. The one thing I will say, though, is I always used to have an opinion where you'd grow your cards at an equal rate as, the best you can. And what that will do is it will do very large dumps of world records, all near enough the same time because you're growing evenly. Now, my view on that has changed. Anyone who's been on these videos for a while will understand why. But for anyone who's new, the reason why you change is because of the trading. So once your card gets to max level, if you're not at max level, once your card gets at max level, every subsequent card you get of that turns to cash. However, when you're trading, you technically have an infinite number of cards from the maxed card level. So if everyone in my club requested Jar Miller or Wade or whatever, I could literally service all of those without any impact to my account. So it'll, and the whole purpose is when you trade, trading's good. It accelerates your progress because you move a card closer to completion. However, if you are therefore trading, it's not free. You lose a card. So by having maxed cards, it means you don't lose any cards. So this is why when people get higher up into the game, the gap gets bigger because they're not having to sacrifice other cards to be able to trade. We obviously have our athletes. Now, if you want to be big in the daily challenge, Universal Athlete in the top left is the main one you need to do. Personally, I've got no care in making that a priority. I try to naturally just let these all get to the right level. Now, as you can see on here, I've got the highest is long running at 22. We need 8 more. I want to be in a position where I have 3 athletes to trade so that when I'm working within my club, I'm giving them the best options. Same from a coaching perspective. We have 2. I want to get the medium runner up, but actually when you look at all 3, yes, Conchita is the furthest behind, but it's not a million miles behind. So that's what I wanted to look at when we look at cards. The other thing to look at is if you want to change discipline. Now, granted, if you want to change discipline to a specific event, then you do need to pay the 10 gems. However, if this was the 3K steeplechase and you do not have time for the 3K steeplechase, you would start the race and then just hard exit the game. Reload it, you get 0 stars. But that said, you get to change the event for free. The other thing I wanted to show as well is just on chests. So if I click on this chest, this purple chest, now this tells me I get 78, 21, 10. In these chests, you can still get legendary items. Now, when I'm going to buy this next one because I just want to be able to show it. When the box opens, the colour of the opening determines the highest level card. Now, this should have a purple colour when we open it, but the reality is that sometimes it can be a gold. It's never less than purple. So let's just try this now. Let's put this to the test. And let's see if we can get a gold. No, it's purple. See how those purple sparkles come out? And therefore, purple is the longest one we can do. It's not the greatest box in the world, but actually we've got some decent cards in amongst some duplicates. And then we get the purple cards as we go through. So that is why if you're opening some of these chests, you can get golds, and it does tell you that you are due to get gold. The final thing I just wanted to quickly go through was just around the training centre. So the training centre, you should be collecting your rewards every single day. As you go up the levels, what it does is it actually starts to reduce these times. So if we look at the restaurant, we know this because we've just opened a grey one earlier. So 24 days and 24 hours. They should just call it 25 days to start with, which they might do. Didn't look. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. So if you think about this and we look at it and we go through, we can see what we're getting. And there's often times where here, this purple one, you think, well, I've maxed out purple. Why would I want to buy it for 177? Well, technically, I don't need to. But I'm going to, because it's not about the purple cards. It's about the blue and the green. And we could get a legendary. So let's have a look. There you go, legendary. See the orange opening? Now, we shouldn't be getting legendary according to the box description. And I'm going to let this naturally come out because I want everyone to see it. And I know some of you are going, no, there's no legendary in there. There's the two purples. And ready? There it is. Now, we don't need it because we only need one legendary card across everything. So it's potluck. Some people will probably think, well, why don't you use your orange token to finish off legendary? My view is I will probably get it naturally over time because you get quite a few legendary boxes in the game. So, but that's the other thing to look at is in here, look at the times it takes to go down. 3 days on this one, it's 54 gems. Now, I shouldn't be buying it, but I'm going to. Because yet again, I want to make sure... That didn't open. There we go. I want to make sure I'm maximising my cards, but actually it's just going to be duplicates. And it's going to be duplicates on the big one, but that's getting there. So there you have it. Oh, cheeky little purple. Snuck out at the end. The one thing I will say, though, is upgrade. It is good to upgrade these. Because what it does, and I don't think it actually gives us any written there, it doesn't. It doesn't tell you how much it reduces it down by time. Now, you might sit there and go, well, that's not going to make much difference to me. And you're right, it won't based on time. But what it will do is it will lower the cost a lot quicker if you're going to spend. And that's the key. Now, the final thing I did really want to cover, just to make sure, I want to cover coins. I've had quite a few questions, both in the chats on videos, but also just questions that have been directly asked to me. How do you get 10.3 million coins? Now, hopefully I've demonstrated that, because when I have opened boxes, there are certain cards I've got. What that means is that turns to cash. Now, you saw the orange card that duplicated. That is worth 20,000 coins. So it doesn't take that long for you to be able to build 20,000 coins into 2, 4, 6 million. Bear in mind that that's just for one card set. And also the cards themselves. So when I start having all of my athletes at 100 at max at level 15, well, that immediately says that I'm going to start earning some serious coin. And depending on how long it takes to the next update, which I think is quite a way away, because they still need to release the new daily challenge, the new club championships, new Nations Cup. They still need to release the relay and the heptathlon to coincide with the decathlon. So all of a sudden it's like, well, hang on a minute, it's going to take a while to get there. So we should be seeing all of us should be seeing, actually it's the opportunity to increase, but if you can complete legendary athletes, coaches, then you are talking 20,000 coins every time you get a duplicate. And that's how you get lots and lots of coins. So, hopefully, that gives you a good overview of some game mechanics I just wanted to call out. Now, if you've got any questions, put them in below. Like, share, subscribe. stick a comment in below, because I'd love to know, did you know everything on here? I'd love to know what else you want explaining, because, you know, it's important so that I'm creating relevant content. And remember, hit that subscribe button. But more importantly than hitting the subscribe, I was going to say hit the bell icon. I was going to say the most important thing is to subscribe. I'm still looking at it. I'm getting somewhere between 85 to 90% of people who aren't subscribed. I am trying to do content as often as possible. The more people that subscribe, the more content we can look to do. And actually, the more comments I get, the better, because then you can give me ideas you want. You know, do you want me to put all of the worst equipment on and run the 100 meters or 200 meters and try all different combinations and see which is the quickest? What's the second quickest? You know, so that you might go, well, actually, if I upgrade my 100 meter, I'm just going to make something up, my 100 meter green cards, actually that works 100 meters, but also it gives me a benefit in 200. It therefore becomes a higher priority for me. So if you want me to start looking at that, again, tell me. If you want me to cover DC challenges, tell me. If you want some live running on there, I know the last time we did live, it came out terribly. But yeah, it's up to you whether you want to, you know, what content you want to be able to see. And obviously, if you tell me what you want, then I can make that happen. If there's any specific events, there are event guides across my entire channel. Is it organised? No. But they're all there. So yeah, so just make sure that feedback is two-way. That's it for today. Let's have a quick look to see what we've got in the decathlon though. Before we leave, we've got Johnny Foxtrot. Okay, we're going to lose, I think. I'm just looking. Yeah. And I don't have lots of time to do this. I'm going to have to find a way to get this done with an extremely quick time on everything before I get on a plane, which I don't know if I'll be able to do. But we're going to give it a go. We're not ones to shy away from the challenge. We'll give it a go even if we're not going to win, just to make sure we get our participation medal. But that's it. As I said, let me know what you want, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.